Hey everyone, Michael here with Hello Cupcake It's Me, and today is the Saturday check-in. If you haven't done so already, please like and subscribe, then head on over to podcast.hellocupcakeitsme.com to check out the podcast that is updated every Thursday. Make sure that you follow me on TikTok for TikTok Tuesdays, and then head on over to hellocupcakeitsme.com to give the blog some love. Follow me on all the other social medias, Instagram, Facebook, you name it. I have an account there. And if you want to check out my book, Carpe Diem Scroto, 365 Daily Affirmations, found at www.cdsthebook.com, you are more than welcome to do so. And let's get into it, shall we? So, first and foremost, I am sorry about the Wednesday check-in being abruptly shut off at 15:07. There was still a whole nother almost 15 minutes worth of content that I was really on a roll and had a lot to say about the subjects that I was talking about. And to me, I think it was a really good just a really good video. But, well, this stupid little bastard here that I got from TikTok, it doesn't let you know that it is going to stop recording until that little green light just disappears. And I was too busy focused on talking to the camera and not paying attention to that, because that's really not in my periphery when I'm on the camera and I can't really see. So, anyways, I said that I would talk about what was going on the Saturday video, and I'm sorry, guys. I honestly just do not remember what I was talking about, and I have already deleted that. I've already deleted the other master video so that I could at least maybe pick up where I was, where I was going, what I was talking about, all that other fun stuff. But anyways, here we are. So I hope that your week has been good. Mine has felt like an uphill battle. Wednesday, I had back-to-back doctor's appointments and just a whole bunch of shit going on. So had my therapy session, talked with my therapist a lot, and worked through some things and uncovered some things. So that's going to be fun and interesting. Also went over some of the stuff that we did in group, and I am really looking forward to group on every other Thursday. I wish that it was a little bit later in the day, like 1, because that just makes it easier for me, but I'm not sure that that makes it easier for everyone else. Tuesdays and Thursdays are usually, I usually don't get home until 12 or 1. So, it's just I got to figure things out for next Thursday. And it might just be that I have to take a bus into town to do all my stuff that I need to do on Thursday, and then come home, or just skip Thursday altogether. Which may be an option. I don't know. Anyways, but this last Thursday, I had the tow truck, or not tow truck, I had the garage that has my car call me and tell me that the work that they have done so far, which consisted of basic diagnostic at $160 an hour, they I think they charged me for an hour and a half, and then they said that I have a crack in my radiator and that all of my hoses need to be replaced, and that they did an oil change. And so for all of this for all the hoopla that they did, it was $293.64. I was like, okay, cool, whatever. I have that. I can pay that. That's not a problem. Um, for the most obvious fixes, it's going to be closer to like $1,300 or $1,400. I think it was like 13 one yeah, 1,388 or some shit like that. And I'm just like, okay, but is that going to be everything? Like, I don't want to be back in a month because something else broke down. Like, I want you to crawl through this fucking car and tell me the exact dollar amount to fix everything, not just topical bullshit like getting a battery changed, changing out your windshield wipers, changing out your air filter. I don't care about that stuff. Like, my battery still has a year warranty. Like, I don't know that it's a year, but my battery still had a warranty on it, you know. And if I have to change out the battery, okay, that's 200 and some odd dollars, whatever. Um, but you know, I don't want to shell out this $1,300-$1,400 to come back in a month. So I need to get face to face with them so that I can talk to them directly about it and like, you know, this is what I need you to do in order for me to yay or nay whatever, because I need to know the absolute dollar amount so that I can figure out how this is getting paid for. So, anyways, all of that. And then I get a phone call from the pharmacy. Mr. Peterson, the insulin that you have requested is no longer being made. Wait, what? Um, so my doctor, my diabetic doctor, did not tell me on Wednesday when I was face to face with him that the insulin that I was on is no longer being made. And so I'm like, what am I going to do with the pump here? Like, you know, I went through and I called every pharmacy in my area, with the exception of CVS and Costco. Let's see, CVS, Walgreens, and Costco. Those were the only three pharmacies that I did not call. And I even went as far as to call Canada, and Canada's like, we don't even have an insulin that's similar to that. And if we did, it's not the type that we sell over the counter, and you would need a Canadian prescription. Canada was a very long shot. And so I was like, okay, cool, whatever. Because if I had to go to Canada, it was $65 there, $65 back, plus the exchange rate once I was in Canada to go to the pharmacy, buy whatever I needed to buy, and then come home. So it was going to be a very expensive adventure for something that my medical doctors here in the United States need to figure the fuck out. And, you know, of course, I put, you know, the information. I'm like, hey, what's going on? We need to figure this out like ASA fucking P. I don't want to wait until the very last second that I don't have any insulin, blah, blah. The nurse got on there and wrote back, we'll get back to you in 2 to 3 days. I am so sick and tired of the fucking nurses getting into my emails and talking to me when I have directed that shit to my fucking doctor, and I have told them time and time again, stay the fuck out of my messages. When I direct it in the subject line to Dr. So-and-so, you stay the fuck out of it. So I put on there, I said, oh yeah, you know, an insulin dependent diabetic who needs their insulin can wait 2 or 3 days. That makes perfect sense. Thank you for this unhelpful response. I'll be sure to include your name if I have to go to the ER for any kind of diabetic episode. And I was just pissed off. Like, so I got to once again put in when I address it to my doctor, that does not leave it open for anyone to look at besides my doctor. I don't care what your internal policies are. This is my demand, request, whatever. So that aside, um, it has just been a lot. It feels like a huge uphill struggle for the last couple of weeks, and we are only into our second week, going into our third week of the new year. So I was at one point I was like, you know what? Let me look this shit up. When is the Mercury retrograde? You know, I'm like, okay, Mercury retrograde doesn't happen until February 26th, which means a week before the 26th and a week after when it ends, which is um, February or March. I want to say 30th. So a week after that. So okay, from about Valentine's Day to um, April 15th, shit's gonna get nasty. Gotcha. Um, but whatever. So that's been life lately. And we have weird weather happening here in the PNW. Um, we're having springtime weather right now. It's like 45 degrees. Oh, according to this, it is actually 48 degrees. We're not supposed to have this kind of weather where it's bright and sunny and warm outside until May. We're supposed to have snow and like winter and all this other stuff, doom and gloom. It's kind of like Mother Nature hit skip season, and we went straight from fall into spring. Now, we also do have a like stair stepper weather when it comes to winter. So we'll have like a little bit of, we call it like winter one, winter two, and winter three. And so I think that we might be in between winter one and winter two. So who knows? But we haven't even had our first snowfall, on like ground snowfall. We've had some snow up in the mountains, but I don't think that it's enough to really sustain us to go through the entire summer, and especially with as hot as the summers have been getting, and the number of areas that have had significant burn damage to recover. And you don't hear anything about the floodings here in Washington anymore. Like, that's not top news. Top news is like all the bullshit going on with ICE and the probable impending war with Venezuela and all that other political bullshit. So, yeah. And I don't have traditional television. Like, I don't subscribe to cable or anything. I just have streaming platform services. So any information I get has to come from Facebook, TikTok, or one of the local news channel websites. And I try not to consume American news media, just because it is so biased and controlled by two different people. And yeah, if I need news sources, I highly recommend France24.com. If you're an English speaker, it's France24.com/EN. They simulcast all of the news in 30 or 40 different languages. And they are not syndicated, so they tell whatever they find, just like plain English, or plain French in there. But I find out shit about America that our news coverage doesn't even like touch. So it's really interesting. And France 24 can be accessed on pretty much anything with a digital pulse. If you have an old ass cell phone or laptop or iPad or something laying around, you could pull up France 24 on that, and it's amazing. And it tells you everything basically. Like, it growing up with just American news media and then switching over to international news media that covers American stuff, I like it a lot better. Plus, it also tells you more about like what's going on in each country than just what we get. Like, oh yeah, the president of Venezuela was taken by the American soldiers, blah blah or whatever. So, anyways, I'm not going to get into all that because I have big feelings about that. Um. So yeah, that's pretty much everything that's going on right now. And just trying to sort everything out. And I have come to the conclusion that the first part of 2026 is probably just going to be utilizing my healthcare in insurance and just getting all of my check engine lights shut off. I have been getting my dental taken care of. I have gotten, let's see, yesterday, Friday, I had to go and get my medical pedicure done. And while I was there, it's my first time meeting my new podiatrist. His office staff is amazing. He had the presence of a stick. He was just like, no conversation, no like, hey, how you doing? Hardly nothing like that. My old podiatrist, old Jewish man, um, diabetic himself, and like constantly checking in with you. Okay, so you're diabetic. This is what's going on. What's blah blah, so on and so forth. So I miss that, and it's in the same building as my old podiatrist, and I could still see bits and pieces of him there, and it's just like having a grandfather who passed away, and you're going to grandma's house and you still see your grandpa represented. And I was just like, wow. Like, there's some pictures and artwork and stuff like that made it like specifically his, that he left behind when he retired. And it was just like, fuck. Ugh. um so it was an emotional thing for me. But so on top of getting my medical pedicure, I also am getting set up for some new diabetic shoes. I have never gotten diabetic shoes before. Um, I've gotten the custom insoles, so I think the next time that I go in, or maybe even before then, I might be getting some new shoes. And I really want to try to get Hoka. My sister is telling me I should look into Ultra, Altra, and um, I really don't care what the shoe is. I prefer Hoka, and I prefer trail running Hoka because those are the most comfortable for me. They are the first pair of like big name brand shoes that I've ever owned outside of a pair of Vans when I was 14, 15. I paid like 70 something dollars for these shoes, and my grandma damn near fainted. Um, but you know, up at, up to that point, I had never had brand name anythings, and all the kids at school were like the cooler kids at school were wearing Vans and stuff like that, and I just wanted a pair of Vans and got myself a pair of Vans. Um, they are the first and only pair that I've ever owned, and have absolutely no arch support, no anything support, because they're skateboarding shoes. Um, but anyways, that's a whole nother tangent. So yeah, maybe getting some new shoes that are custom fitted for me, and that should be really exciting to see how that works out. But yeah, so anyways, I think I'm going to go ahead and cut it off here. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, please put them in the comment section down below. And remember, you are doing the best you can with what you have available to you. In a world full of Karens, be somebody who cares in the world. And remember to not add to the population, don't subtract from the population. Be kind to your neighbors, regardless of their immigration status. Stand up to ICE, and hashtag be good. And I'll talk to you all later. Bye, everyone.